despite all of the work that I did to try and stay healthy, sure enough, about 5 years later, I started to get ill. First with Candida, my CD4 count dropped, and then I developed Kaposi sarcoma, the AIDS-related cancer. And so with the CD4 count of less than 200, the Candida and the KS, I was given an AIDS diagnosis. And I wasn't really prepared for it. I'd spent all of my time thinking, well, you know, that whole HIV equals AIDS equals death thing, I can have HIV and just not progress to AIDS. There are people that seem to be doing quite well in America, long-term survivors, and they're doing pretty well. I'm going to be one of those. So when I got the AIDS diagnosis, that kind of threw me because I didn't know where to go from there. My friends were all at work. I didn't have anybody around me. And so at that point, I got in touch with Terence Higgins Trust and spoke to them about arranging a buddy. And that was fantastic. It was a lifeline because I was stuck at home 24/7. My lungs were so bad that I had an oxygen tank just to get from room to room. And I had a woman that lived locally that came around at least once a week and just sat and chatted in the daytime, which was when I was obviously most isolated. I had friends that I'd see occasionally in the evenings, but the days just stretched so long when you're stuck at home, and daytime TV is enough to drive anyone mad, I think. So it was a real lifeline, just having somebody that was there that could talk or bring me occasional things that I needed. And then when I moved to North London, about a year or so later, I got a new buddy that was in the local area in North London as well, which lasted for another year and a half. And again, it was just an amazing asset to have when it was an area that I didn't know. There weren't any friends locally, and there was just somebody there that was there to be supportive and just to help out when I needed it.
The hardest times for me, as I think they must be for so many people involved, was the illness and death of people I loved. My then partner died in 1989 after a series of terrible opportunistic infections wreaking havoc on his body and his mind. He finally died at home in the summer of 1989, and I remember just the contrast between George, my partner, being so ill and the life going out on the streets of summer in London. That certainly was a very, very difficult time. And then it seemed from '89 until the mid-90s, a number of dear and close people became ill and died. I was very fortunate that a year or so after George died, I met a wonderful man that I'm still with. But it was a very, very difficult time when both of us became ill and were diagnosed with AIDS in the mid-90s. I had a range of illnesses, and so did Francisco, Paco, my partner. We were never actually in hospital at the same time, but extremely difficult until the new medications, they pulled us back from the brink, but they couldn't undo the damage that some of the infections had wrought. But we're still here today, and both of us helping here at the London Lighthouse. And I count myself very, very fortunate that we have both come this far.